here's Mike Pence. I don't know if you're familiar with this fellow, but I think he's our first vice president who was smooth in the front that we've ever had. But this is, how did a National Guardsman have access to sensitive U.S. secrets?
Before the arrest, I sat down with former Vice President Mike Pence as these reports were breaking. Watch it.
And we probably should have waited until, the story was further along, but it's not like anyone's saying anything worth saying.
Do you have confidence in the leadership in terms of how these things are looked after?
Well,
how these things are looked after.
I'm just very concerned. And obviously, we don't know among the documents that have appeared on the Internet how many of them are real. The Pentagon seems to have made it clear that some of them are. Some of them may have been manufactured. But again, I fall back to, particularly now that we have a target here, I fall back on fundamental questions, and that is, how could a Massachusetts National Guardsman have access to this type of classified and sensitive information?
Yeah. Interesting, because he's always had access to it for like that station, that a Massachusetts National Guard person in that level in that particular cyber unit has had access to this shit for years. That's normal to them. We just happen to be in a European war right now, as opposed to, involved in helping them, versus the Middle East or some other place nobody gives a fuck about. That's all. Ultimately, you have people who are joining because they're part of the America First crowd, and they want to leak this shit out because they're landing on the side that Russia should have just won.
And how would they be able to release that information?
It's a good question.
And it's not just about Russia and Ukraine, but there's information about China's hypersonic weapons being tested. There's information about countries that may be providing
stuff that normally you'd have to be a member of Mar-a-Lago to see.
Support to Russia from across the Arab world. That all of that could compromise our sources and methods. And I think after we bring,
just like the classified documents at Mar-a-Lago and at your house,
bring whoever's responsible here to justice, I think there needs to be a full-scale review.
Yeah, they're on it. Gee, why didn't anybody think of that? A full-scale review. It's almost as if, of course,
of who has access to this type of classified information.
Which is exactly what they're doing right now. Again, these fuckers who think they're inventing the wheel.
Information and how it's being handled.
A couple more topics that I want to get to with you today. You've been very supportive of our involvement in the war in Ukraine, supporting the effort there. Yeah. The former president was asked about this, and he basically says that we're giving it all away. The military that you and your administration, along with the president at the top of it. And here's what he said. Watch.
We don't have any ammunition. We've given it to Ukraine. We're not prepared to fight. I rebuilt our military, new planes, new tanks, new everything. They've taken the military that I've rebuilt, and they've given it all to Ukraine. I mean, massive amounts.
Do you agree with that?
I don't, Martha. Look.
Ouch.
The United States is leader of the free world. We're the arsenal of democracy. Ukraine is not our war, but freedom is our fight. And I've long believed in the Reagan doctrine, which is, if you're willing to fight America's enemies on your soil, we'll give you the means to fight them there so we don't have to fight them here. I think this is an important fight. Look, I'm proud of the historic increase in investments that we made in our
But quite frankly, Trump tried to murder me.
National defense during the Trump-Pence administration. But the truth of the matter is, as the former president talks about planes and tanks that we helped build up in our military, we haven't sent one plane to the Ukrainian military. We haven't sent any tanks, even though the Biden administration promised to send 33 Abrams tanks back in January. I mean, the hard truth is that the Biden administration has been slow in responding, slow in providing.
Like that, there's your Republican cohesion in terms of messaging for the former administration. One guy says we're sending everything and we're going to run out of shit, and the other one's like the current administration is not sending stuff, and what they are sending they're going too slow. Same like none of these motherfuckers know what they're talking about.